We're not taking you upstairs, Walt.
We'll see about that.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we are looking into a story that's going around. It claims the frozen body of Walt Disney will finally be thawed in December with the hope of bringing him back to life.
50 minutes after midnight in December 1966, a light winked out in Burbank. Walt Disney, storyteller, futurist, dream builder, was gone. But a wilder story sprang up in the dark, that his body was secretly frozen beneath Pirates of the Caribbean, waiting for science to wake him.
Okay, and is Great Uncle Walt frozen underneath the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Tonight, we unseal every rumor, certificate, basement, and laboratory connected to that myth, and discover something far stranger than a single hidden chamber. Ready to step into the cold? Let's pull the heavy door. December 15th, 1966. St. Joseph Hospital overlooked the new Ventura Freeway as Walt took his final breaths. Lung cancer had raced faster than his Imagineers could. Nurses, doctors, and Brother Roy circled the bed. 2 blocks away, animators kept pencils moving, unaware the guiding voice had fallen silent. Within hours, reporters learned the truth, but whispers that hospital staff had seen a silver cylinder rolled out the back entrance sparked a legend that would snowball across decades. 2 days later, Forest Lawn Memorial Park filed cremation paperwork. Permit number 10,976, cremated December 17th. Signed, stamped, witnessed, public record. Yet conspiracy hunters almost never request it. Why? Because paper dissolves mystery. But the document sits in Glendale's county archives, available for $23. Researchers who have touched it describe nothing exotic, no code words, no hidden ink. Just an ordinary legal form for 38 pounds of ashes sealed in plot number 144, Garden of Freedom. Facts, however, rarely satisfy a thirsty rumor.
How can you still be alive? You have to be 200 by now.
No, I died a long time ago. I had my head frozen.
While journalists filed obituaries, physicist Robert Ettinger mailed galley proofs of the prospect of immortality. His bold proposal: cool a human body to liquid nitrogen temperatures until medicine learns revival. The manuscript reached publishers in 1964, but Time magazine didn't spotlight it until '65. The same year, Walt fought cancer. 2 unrelated timelines, yet they would fuse in popular imagination. Ettinger's idea gave Americans a brand new vocabulary: cryonics, cryostat, suspension. It also gave tabloid editors thrilling headline fuel. January 12, 1967, 28 days after Walt's death, psychology professor James Bedford became the first person cryopreserved. A Hollywood mortuary loaded him into a box packed with dry ice and then a steel capsule. Photographers captured the scene. Associated Press flashed the images worldwide. Suddenly, frozen man stories were real news, not science fiction. And because Bedford lived in Los Angeles, only 9 freeway exits from Disney Studios, a simple mix-up hardened. Many readers swapped professor for producer. In October 1967, Paris Match ran an illustrated spread on cryonics, dropping Walt's name without proof. The piece traveled across Europe, translated back into English, and ricocheted through underground papers. Soon, college radio hosts repeated it as fact. By 1969, a Gallup poll found 14% of Americans believed Disney was on ice. No Disney spokesperson answered directly. The company feared amplifying nonsense, so silence functioned like oxygen in a hidden cavern, keeping speculative flames alive.
He built this company, he and his brother, 2 brothers that worked side by side.
1972. Diane Disney Miller, Walt's elder daughter, granted an interview to biographer Bob Thomas. Halfway through, Thomas asked about the freezing rumor. Diane laughed, then grew firm. "I have never understood how anyone could believe Daddy wanted to come back to life. He was cremated. Period." Magazines reprinted her words, but the correction lacked the drama of the secret chamber story. Urban legends, like animated villains, rarely die on the first swing of truth. Tour guides still point at New Orleans Square, whispering about a cryolab beneath the bricks. Blueprints reveal a much duller space. Laundry tunnels, electrical conduits, a storage cage for parade floats. In 1975, municipal inspectors published the entire underground layout after approving a new fire suppression system. Anyone can view the 32-page plan in Anaheim's city archives. No refrigerated vault, no nitrogen lines, just steam pipes and wiring harnesses. Yet guests swear they feel a chill on Haunted Mansion steps. 1979 brought real cryonics heartbreak. In a suburban Los Angeles crypt, 9 stored bodies thawed when the caretaker's funding collapsed. Families arrived to collect melted remains in shock. Newspapers splashed "Cryonics Nightmare" across front pages. Had Walt been there, as rumor insisted, he would have liquefied too. The scandal pushed many casual believers away from freezing dreams and, ironically, supplied doubters with new ammunition. If famous Disney money couldn't prevent disaster, perhaps the whole tale was pure fiction. Here's a documented Disney cryo story. In 1981, Imagineers researched liquid nitrogen fog effects for Epcot's Universe of Energy. They toured Air Products headquarters in Allentown, Pennsylvania, learning safe handling of -196 degrees Celsius vapor. Memos preserved in the Walt Disney archives show engineers scribbling calculations beside doodles of the dinosaur diorama. Outsiders glimpsed barrels of nitrogen and leapt to conclusions. They must be visiting Walt. Truth was less macabre, just stagecraft, prepping for Ellen's future cameo with Stegosaurus steam. In 1988, Phoenix-based Alcor Life Extension Foundation hosted TV crews after preserving a pet dog named Bear. Celebrities toured the lab, curious about indefinite slumber. Among guests, animator Ward Kimball, one of Walt's original 9 old men. Kimball joked on camera, "I'm checking if Walt's hanging out here." He found only stainless steel dewars, marked by serial numbers, no secret VIP capsule. Still, his playful remark aired on late-night news, and many viewers missed the punchline. Florida's Reedy Creek Improvement District keeps meticulous logs of every construction permit at Walt Disney World. Investigators filed public records requests in 1992, hunting for a hidden cryonics annex. They received stacks of thermal plant blueprints, septic tank upgrades, and a warehouse for fireworks. 0 refrigeration chambers for human remains. The search produced nothing sensational, but it highlighted Disney's unusual municipal powers, another layer of mystique. Sometimes bureaucracy itself feels like a labyrinth guarding treasure, even when the vault is empty. In 2001, the original Hyperion Avenue studio cabinets, hand-built by Walt in 1926, went to auction. Among old storyboards lay a 1957 Popular Science article on suspended animation, with notes in Walt's neat capitals. Interesting, worth tracking. Bidders seized on the marginalia. Collectors whispered, proof he researched freezing. Historians countered, Walt read hundreds of science magazines while planning Tomorrowland. A curious annotation does not equal a secret contract with cryonicists. The cabinet fetched $70,000, rumor included free of charge. Baseball legend Ted Williams entered cryonic suspension in 2002, reigniting media curiosity. ESPN ran a sidebar listing other famous people rumored to be frozen, placing Walt at number 1. Disney archivist Dave Smith emailed the network a PDF of the cremation permit. Editors thanked him, then kept the graphic unchanged. Sensationalism outscored accuracy yet again. The Williams case, however, pushed scientists to refine preservation protocols, proving that real cryonics was evolving far from Pirates of the Caribbean caves.
Let the show begin! Here's my pal Walt to tell you how the magic is made.
By 2013, deep learning algorithms allowed animators to resurrect young Walt for a D23 Expo presentation. Fans saw the founder speak on screen, cheeks warm and rosy.
Always exploring and experiment.
Some misread the trick as evidence of hidden footage thawed from cryonic stasis. Lucasfilm's Industrial Light and Magic later published white papers detailing the CGI process, but the technical jargon slid off casual ears. When technology makes the dead talk smoothly, speculation about physical resurrection only grows louder. Disney's official archives occupy a nondescript warehouse near Burbank Airport, temperature-controlled, yes, but for film reels and watercolor cells, not human remains. In 2015, curator Becky Klein opened rows of H-Vault doors for ABC cameras, revealing original snow-white cells cooled to 58 degrees Fahrenheit. She quipped, "Our only frozen characters are animated." The walkthrough demonstrated how easily climate-controlled storage can look like a morgue to the untrained eye, fueling myths whenever a locked stainless door appears in a backstage corridor. When Disney released Frozen in 2013, internet conspiracy boards claimed a covert motive: bury search results for Walt Disney Frozen. Journalists at The Atlantic tested the theory in 2016, showing that autocomplete still produced the cryonic query first. Algorithms like Legends resist corporate marching orders. The investigation did reveal a spike in searches each December, Walt's death anniversary, proving the myth follows an annual cycle, resurfacing like a ghost lit by string lights on Main Street. Real cryonics faces heavy regulation. In 2017, Nevada amended its Uniform Anatomical Gift Act, classifying cryopreservation facilities alongside organ banks. The change forced one startup to relocate to Arizona. Every revision of the law sparks online chatter. Are they protecting frozen Walt? Even though California regulations would apply to any Disney vault. Instead, these statutes illustrate the tug-of-war between science pioneers and public policy, a drama less cinematic than hidden dungeons, yet central to what happens to bodies after death. 2019 saw workers refurbish the modest Disney family mausoleum at Forest Lawn. Granite joints were resealed, bronze doors polished. Tourists snapped photos, posting captions like, "Odd place for a frozen legend." The upkeep reaffirmed that Walt's ashes rest in a conventional crypt. Yet the renovation itself generated headlines, proving routine maintenance can revive dormant rumors. Sometimes, a fresh coat of weatherproofing shines a brighter spotlight on old questions rather than silencing them. Lockdowns stirred digital rabbit holes. With theme parks closed in 2020, drone footage of empty Disneyland lots went viral. Aerial fans spotted refrigerated trailers near backstage catering and leapt to conclusions. The chamber has opened. Reality, the freezers stored excess food after sudden closures. Yet the idea of icy secrets re-emerged. proving that crisis conditions amplify legendary thinking. When the world feels uncertain, fantastical explanations rush in to fill mental gaps, sometimes on wings of frost. When Disney bought Marvel Entertainment in 2009, it also inherited the most famous frozen hero in pop culture, Captain America, the man literally pulled from Arctic ice. In 2011's Captain America, the first Avenger, Steve Rogers thaws out inside a SHIELD lab that looks suspiciously like a futuristic vault. Viewers quickly drew lines from comic panels to Walt's rumored chamber, and entertainment magazines ran double-page spreads on Disney's two icy legends. Fiction again refreshed the folklore, keeping the chill alive.
I go to that museum.
Futurama launched in 1999 with a tour of New York's Head Museum, rows of celebrity noggins preserved in nutrient-rich jars. Walt never appears, but fans clamored for him on early message boards. Executive producer David X. Cohen told IGN in 2001 they skipped the gag to dodge legal snags. Still, weekly exposure to talking heads normalized cryonics for Gen X and millennial viewers. Many first learned James Bedford's story after Googling real frozen heads right after the pilot aired. The Iceman, a 2010 New Yorker profile, shadowed physicist Robert Ettinger at the Cryonics Institute in Michigan. Writer Jill Lepore watched technicians refill towering duels and noted a wall calendar still marking Walt Disney's birthday, evidence of the myth's grip even inside the movement's headquarters. Because the New Yorker archives are searchable online and in most libraries, the article is a goldmine of narrative detail, pairing literary journalism with footnoted history that's both credible and compelling. Back on January 24th, 1988, the Washington Post magazine ran a long-form story with the chilly headline, "In California, they have seen the future and it is cold." Reporter Richard Leiby toured a Los Angeles cryonics warehouse, then devoted an entire sidebar to the Disney rumor, calling it a commonplace of American folklore. The article appeared in the Sunday edition, giving the myth its most prominent newspaper platform to date, and ensuring millions of breakfast readers met the tale in black and white print. When a satirical website claimed Walt Disney to be thawed this December, the story went viral. Again, Agence France Presse's fact-check desk stepped in with a 2021 verdict: false. Their report quoted the Walt Disney Family Museum, cited cremation permits, and traced the hoax back to its parody source. Major outlets, including Yahoo News, syndicated the debunk, turning it into one of the most read myth-busting pieces of the year and proving the rumor still needs regular ice-breaking. In 1994, journalist Mark Elliott dropped Walt Disney, Hollywood's Dark Prince, a page-turner that promised hidden truths behind the magic. Nestled amid claims about labor wars and politics sat a juicy 4-page detour, the cryogenic rumor. Elliott called the story probably false, yet sales rocketed past 250,000 copies, and talk radio hosts waved the book on air as fresh evidence. Because it was the first mass-market biography to print the myth in detail, the Frozen Walt narrative found a brand new generation of believers. Across news desks, documentaries, podcasts, classrooms, even bestseller lists, the idea of Walt Disney in cold storage keeps defrosting, not because it's true, but because it's irresistible. Each retelling reveals more about our hopes and fears than about the man himself. Maybe that's the real chamber we keep opening. Thanks for watching.